Breaking news today, we talk about Chelsea defeating Paris Saint-Germain in the Clubs World Cup for the very first time. And despite all what Paris Saint-Germain has done to the English Premier League clubs and of course some clubs in the Europe, right up to the USA, Paris Saint-Germain still bowed to Chelsea, and Chelsea the Club World Cup champions this season. And Paris Saint-Germain being one of the most strongest clubs in Europe right now, dating back from the pool where they have Donnarumma, one of the best goalkeeper, and of course one of the most feared left and right back wingers of Hakimi and Nuno Mendes. These two duo can carry the ball from box to box, and especially Nuno Mendes, who is very, very scary when it comes to holding the ball position, creating chances, running with the ball forward. Nuno Mendes is very good in that. And now we're going to talk about Hakimi, who has scored more goals as well in the Champions League, and of course performing outrageously in this football play. And now we're going to talk about the midfield. We've got Fabian Ruiz and of course Vitinha. Vitinha, very incredible, very good, an excellent player. And of course in the headline we've got for the attacks, Desiree Douel or Ousmane Dembélé and Bradley Barcola. Who these players, if you take a look at them combined, they were very, very dangerous, playing football like they have never played before, because they really played this season without Kylian Mbappe, without Lionel Messi, without Neymar. This football we've never watched when these three players all played in the Paris Saint-Germain. And of course today we're going to break down how Chelsea track them down and get into their defense line and of course shatter them in this final. If you take a look first, Paris Saint-Germain just defeated this season Liverpool, and if you know, Liverpool of course was the champions of the Premier League this season, and Liverpool of course is a very strong club when it comes to the Premier League, but they couldn't even withstand Paris Saint-Germain this season. And as well we're going to look at Aston Villa. Aston Villa this season, last season and this season as well, was a very, very strong competitive club in the English Premier League, where they had some good goalkeepers and of course the good strikers up front, and they really played very good football, at least bringing themselves into the top four of the league, and they went to the Champions League. And of course as well they couldn't withstand Paris Saint-Germain from Ligue 1. Paris Saint-Germain actually shattered them and defeated them very well in the Champions League. And also going to take a look at Manchester City under Pep Guardiola. If you look at Pep Guardiola, the way he plays, one of the most feared manager, but he couldn't even withstand Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League, even though it was the time that he was facing a lot of challenges, Guardiola, but still Manchester City was unable to defeat Paris Saint-Germain. And Manchester City, of course, one of the top three clubs in England, being consistent for the past years, bound down to Paris Saint-Germain, and Luis Enrique capitalized on these English leagues and defeated them. And also we're going to take a look at Arsenal. Arsenal also, of course, they're one of the title contenders in the Premier League. Very good, very strong, playing very well, but was in the Champions League also very well beaten by Paris Saint-Germain. This is just a second leg, and of course he beat them 3-1 in the other one, and then taking them. Arsenal also very strong contender in the Premier League, and of course they couldn't even withstand the Paris Saint-Germain front team. And now we're going to look at where Paris Saint-Germain finished with England and moved over to Germany and beat of course Bayern Munich in this Club World Cup. This is one of the strongest football club in Germany, with his consistent win over the years, and of course a lot of Champions League. And then Paris Saint-Germain this season, ordered a playful watch of Luis Enrique, using Dembélé, using Barcola, using of course Desiree Douel, and coming back Donnarumma in the post, Hakimi, Nuno Mendes, turning up Marquinhos, they turned up all together. He actually capitalized and brought these players all into a particular system of play where they could break through all the English top 5 teams, and of course went to Germany as well. He defeated Bayern Munich very, very well. And we're going to look at Real Madrid as well. What he did to Real Madrid was kind of surprising, because at the first 10 minutes he already was pressing Real Madrid like there's no tomorrow, like there's no other football game to be played. Real Madrid couldn't even identify himself in the first 15 minutes when Paris Saint-Germain was pressuring them. And if you look at the way they play, they actually locked Mbappe and locked Vinicius Junior, and of course Vitinha occupied the midfield of Real Madrid, so much so that at the first 45 minutes, Real Madrid was 4-0 down. Okay, let's go to the US and meet Inter Miami. Inter Miami was really humiliated as well, I mean, when you watch the game, the way Paris Saint-Germain played, they played like it's a final of a World Cup. They didn't take it lightly with Inter Miami. They play like they've played before. They play like they know their playing system, and of course they develop something very new and actually bring it on to Inter Miami. First 10 minutes, first 15 minutes, Inter Miami was already sweating around the pitch, confused, didn't know the tactics then to take, and of course before 45 minutes they were already 4-0 down. Same like Real Madrid, you can see here, 4-0 down for Real Madrid. Of course Inter Miami as well, same thing, 4-0 down. And if you look at how Luis Enrique actually positioned these players to play and win all of these, you can actually determine that. If you look at how Enrique has defeated all these clubs, you can actually see that he's building a very good football shape. And of course, Luis Enrique, knowing that he has already beaten all the top 4 clubs or top 5 clubs of the English Premier League, he believed that he already knows how the system works in England. And of course, when he was coming to Chelsea, he was considering the fact that this is Chelsea is just from England. I know the way they play, and of course Chelsea didn't even go to the Champions League for the past 2 years, and I believe that they could win them. And then you know what, he went home and he didn't really prepare that much, but he was thinking maybe he's just going to bring the same play style he used against Real Madrid and bring the same play style he used against Inter Miami, Bayern Munich, and then of course shatter Chelsea, crush Chelsea. But you know what is surprising thing, he was thinking, of course, if Manchester City is stronger than Chelsea, of course I can beat Chelsea easily. And of course, if Arsenal has been consistent more than Chelsea for the last 2 years, which is in England, I can beat, of course, Chelsea. And of course, Liverpool is the 2024-2025 champions for the Premier League, and I can actually defeat Chelsea. This is all what he considered, like I've beaten all these clubs, including Arsenal. And it's like thinking, like, of course, Aston Villa, beating Aston Villa with all his consistency, the good players they also have. And of course, he was thinking, okay, now I've crushed all the England players. If Chelsea is coming, what Chelsea can do to me? Come on, let's see. 3-0. That was the result. 3-0. Chelsea actually knew the system he used. They capitalized on it, work harder, train more harder, because the whole world was believing on Paris Saint-Germain. Everyone was believing on Paris Saint-Germain, but Chelsea changed the system. And when it comes to finals, you need to take a look. You need to be very careful with Chelsea when it comes to finals. If you look at the 2012, when Chelsea was playing against Bayern Munich in 2012, that was the 19th of May or so. Chelsea was playing like they are trying to defend. Chelsea was the minor team against Bayern Munich, and if you see, Bayern Munich was playing pressure in Chelsea from the start of the game, but Chelsea knows how to pull out the defense and use the counter. Bayern Munich actually that time had 16 corners, but when Chelsea got one, they utilized it. DJ Drogba changed the whole story, and of course up to today it's a history. And if you look at 2019, Chelsea as well, from 2019 to 2021, Chelsea as well was not a good club, was not a very good club until they won again. Now let's take a look at the most incredible players, the most excellent players who perform very well, and then break down this Paris Saint-Germain's team. We talk about Sanchez. Sanchez really did some good saves that changed the entire game. Hadn't been that he considered one of those goals, the early shots, I think the game would have changed. He wouldn't have been like he was supposed to play. But one more thing, Chelsea in the first 10 minutes, they played and pressured Paris Saint-Germain, and they got confused before they could even realize that, oh, come on guys, we are not here for jokes. Chelsea already mastered how to play them. How did they do it? Cole Palmer, if you look at Cole Palmer was the one who even locked Nuno Mendes from creating all those chances. When Nuno Mendes stepped up front and got to the midfield, Cole Palmer stepped back and met Nuno Mendes. He couldn't even make a run. He trapped him down. While on the other side, Moses Caicedo actually blocked Vitinha from creating all those chances and distributing all those balls. The ball that Vitinha usually do distributed, he locked Vitinha down, and then coming down to Chalobah and the captain Luis James, they actually blocked Hakimi as well from moving. Dembélé couldn't even play, and Enzo Fernandez and Moses Caicedo at the midfield blocked everything at the midfield. And of course, it was very incredible. Let's talk about Cole Palmer, best player of the tournament, well deserved. He created the chance and gave an assist for this João Pedro. giving an assist to João Pedro, and of course finishing 2 solid important goals in a very, very hot weather in the United States, but he made it cool for the guys. Cole Palmer was very, very incredible. I love the way he played, and scoring 2 goals, creating 1 chance, and giving an assist to João Pedro. And if you look at João Pedro as well, very perfect 9 shot. I mean, very confident one. If you see the way he holds the ball, and if you see his finishes, the chip over the keeper was very amazing. I mean, if you want to compare this guy with Nicolas Jackson or with Liam Delap, you have to consider that, of course, any coach is going to start him over all his 2 players. Like, he has this confidence. If you give him the ball, he doesn't just lose the ball carelessly. So João Pedro, of course, is a very, very good player and deserved his flowers yesterday. The way they all played was quite good. And just for you to know, you're just going to stay tuned for our latest update as far as the window transfer is concerned. Arsenal is still chasing on Victor Gyökeres. The deal is not done yet, and of course that for Nuno Mendes, the medicals is completed, and of course Nuno Mendes will be joining Arsenal soon. You're just going to stay tuned. We're going to take a look at what is happening in Manchester City, and of course we're going to be taking a look at what is happening in Real Madrid, who they need to buy to replace Luka Modric, because I think one of the main problems of Real Madrid is actually this midfield is having a serious issue. They need to take this replacement of Toni Kroos and Luka Modric, and of course we'll be going down as well to Barcelona to see the signings that they need. I think Manchester United needs to make more signings before this window is going to run down. That is the only team we are looking up to right now. Stay tuned for the latest update in our next video, and if you didn't subscribe to our channel yet, subscribe so we bring to you all what is happening around the world as far as sport is concerned.